The stupid battery's dead. I'm so late now. Hi there, smart driver. So you have a dead battery. You can quickly get it going with a set of booster cables. Booster cables are often included in the winter kits that you can put in your vehicle, and I do recommend you putting one of those in there. And as well, I'll leave a card up in the corner for you over there, I believe, on winter survival kits. So booster cables, you need another vehicle that's running with a live battery in it, and you're going to hook the booster cables up to the live battery first, and then you're going to hook them up to your battery, and it's black to black, red to red. And after you start your vehicle, you need to leave it running for 20 or 30 minutes. The alternator will charge the battery, and then you can shut it off again, and the battery will have enough charge to get it going again. So 20 to 30 minutes, and then once you get your vehicle started, unhook them in reverse. So off your battery first, and then off the live vehicle, and make sure that the ends of the booster cables don't touch. So stick around. We're going to give you a bit more detail if you haven't done this before or not sure how to identify positive and negative posts on the battery. Now, if you're new to Smart Drive Test helps new drivers get a license, veteran drivers to remain crash-free, CDL drivers to start a career as a truck or bus driver. So if you're new here, consider subscribing way over there. As well, hit that bell. That way you'll get instant notification when we get the videos up for you. Now, there are different kinds of booster cables. As I said, they come in the winter kits, and they're not very heavy duty. If you want a better set of booster cables, you can go out and purchase those. They're longer, they're more heavy duty. If you've got a big pickup truck or you're running multiple batteries in your unit, you probably want a heavier set of booster cables. Now, getting another vehicle to boost your vehicle, if you're in a parking lot somewhere, you're going to have to go and ask somebody, or you can call a taxi, or you can call a tow truck, and they'll come and give you a boost. But most of the time, you just walk around the parking lot and ask people, and they'll bring their vehicle over and give you a boost. Now, you got to figure out which side of the vehicle your battery is on, so they can get close to that side, and you can hook the booster cables up, because if you have short booster cables, obviously you're going to need reach from one vehicle to the other. Fortunately, where my vehicle's parked right now, I can just let it roll back, and I can get the other vehicle in, and it's fairly easy to hook up the cables. Now, the other thing that you need to do in terms of hooking up the cables, you need to identify which battery post is the positive, which one is the negative, and there's three ways to do that. The positive is almost always red. The positive post is always bigger than the negative post. And then finally, the cable coming off the negative post goes to either the body on the vehicle or it goes to the frame. So that's the way that you can identify the posts, and you don't want to hook the batteries up incorrectly. Remember, it's negative to negative, positive to positive, because you could risk injury or explosion of the battery if you hook them up incorrectly. And after you get the battery cables hooked up to the battery, don't click them together. Woo, nice sparks, because potentially you could cause damage and cause the battery to explode. So make sure you hold the cable ends, the booster cable ends apart, and that they don't touch. So as I said, get the live vehicle into place, hook up the battery cables to the battery that's live first, and then hook it up to yours. Start your vehicle, let it run for about 20 or 30 seconds. I have seen people, when you've got another person and they're hooking up the live vehicle, you can rev up the motor a little bit to provide a bit more juice, but most of the time, if you just hook them up, your vehicle start up right away. And then, you know, within 20 or 30 seconds, disconnect the booster cables, then you just go on your way. Close your hood, you're good to go. And like I said, let your vehicle run for about 20 minutes, 30 minutes, and that way you'll be sure that there's enough charge in the battery for it to start the next time. So there's a few other ways that you can do this as well. You can have a battery box, which is if you call a tow truck, they're gonna have a battery box where they just hook it up, and I'll put another video down in the playlist here. You can have a look at that. It's almost the same type of exercise. Or you can use a battery charger, but battery chargers take a long time. So those are our other options. And if you're looking for booster cables, look down in the description there. I'll leave a link over to Amazon where you can pick up a set of booster cables if you don't have them already to get those. And if you do buy those, I get a bit of a kickback for those as well. One other point, push start cars. You can go in, you can push the button. The vehicle won't start. All the lights will come on and the gauges will activate, but you don't have enough juice in the vehicle to get it going because you need 13 volts to turn over the starter. For the most part, if you don't have 13 volts, the starter's not going to turn over. And I actually had a 2017 Subaru WRX that's what it did. At 40,000, the battery went on the vehicle, had to be replaced under warranty, but I went in, pushed the button, all the lights activated, the gauges activated, but the battery was dead and it wouldn't start, and had to give it a boost and actually had to have the battery replaced.